Hey, I'm Joe from Leadership Society of Arizona, and I'm excited to talk to you about a really sensitive topic that parents have brought up with me, which is video games. And so, in order to kind of help parents understand how to handle video games, I want to go through my own experience because I was a video game addict. And so, through this presentation, I hope as I give these tips to you as parents that you'll understand how to better handle video games with your own children. So let's start. I had 5 older brothers that loved playing video games. So I had always the latest consoles, I had the latest equipment that I could use to play video games. And as I went into high school, I was definitely addicted to playing video games. And, as I talk to parents, that strikes fear into their heart, right? All of them are worried that their children are going to get addicted to video games. And so from a parent perspective, I hear a lot of parents with maybe a skewed perspective that, hey, all video games are really bad. They're a waste of time, and my child is spending way too much time on video games, and they need to be doing more things outdoors and whatnot. And although some of these things are true, with the pandemic and what our circumstances with our children are right now, this is something that's really difficult and that most parents are struggling with. And so what I want to do is kind of paint a different little perspective on what video games can do and what we've seen as we've worked with students and we've seen them develop with video games. And we've often seen there's a real great benefit to playing video games, especially since there's no in-person events and with COVID and everything. Video games can sometimes be the only source of social interaction, of building problem-solving skills, teamwork, where students are able to actually work together and build these skills. And, times are changing and these video games are evolving and they're actually becoming a great source of benefit for these students. And so my tip number 1 is for parents to realize that video games in moderation can be a very healthy thing for students. And that depends on the video game, obviously, and what's going on, but it's become a great way for students to interact in our day and age with COVID and everything going on. So with that perspective and helping understand that video games can actually be healthy for students and normal, it might help to understand the rest of the presentation and going forward, how do you work with your student and child on maybe limiting or trying to get them to do things other than video games. But really, coming back to my story, I was addicted. I'd play 30 to 40 hours a week, maybe even more, obviously, staying up late at night. I had a whole community of friends and a network that I did, and I was completely consumed in playing. And with that, I often look back and say, why was I so consumed in video games? Why was I doing all this? And, when I look at children and students today, you think, hey, it's an easy thing to do. You just go home. You don't have to coordinate with anyone. You don't have to plan anything. You just go on. You can play video games with your friends, with whoever is online. It's something really easy. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I did it. It was fun. It was easy. I felt like I was progressing. But I think the main reason why I played video games was I really had nothing better to do. I didn't know how to spend time. I didn't know what else there was available to do. So I went to the easiest thing, video games. And I think this is a lot of what our children go through is they don't know what to do. They don't have a lot of opportunities. They want something that's easy. And playing video games was a big distraction. I didn't have to think about anything else. I was just doing one thing. So my tip number 2 for parents is helping your children find opportunities that aren't video games that they enjoy. And I think, as students start to realize the opportunities, the different things that they can be a part of, kids are smart. They'll often choose, and we'll find they often choose doing other things than playing video games. And that's because they have these opportunities. And so as parents, understanding that, hey, they might not be doing anything because they don't know what to do. And as you help them understand the options and what they can do, they'll often choose to do other things than just play video games. And so, as I went and I felt progressing, kids are smart. So I realized, hey, I can't just play video games my whole life. There's so many other things about life, work, sports, all these other things that I need to be aware of. And so I started to think, hey, this isn't going well for me. And I think children as well start to realize, hey, as parents explain this, I need to do something else. I can't just play video games. And so we start to find children trying to, branch out, do other things. And for me, I went a little extreme and I went cold turkey and I said, hey, I'm just not going to play video games. My junior year, I said, hey, I'm done. I'm not going to play any. And so as I went on this journey, it was a major lifestyle change. It was traumatic. I had all these friends that played video games, a whole network, and I just lost all that. I couldn't hang out with them if I didn't want to play video games. I would just sit and watch. And it was a really hard thing for me. I had so much time on my hand. I didn't know what to do. I was scared and, it felt like everyone else was doing things and me, I was just not doing anything. So tip number 3 for parents is realizing, hey, be patient and understanding with students. It's difficult to go when you're a video game addict like I was and playing so many video games to doing no video games. And so often it's a balance, trying to help your students and your children realize, hey, we need to do other things, but video games is okay to play a little. It's a big lifestyle change. And I really felt it as I went through. But eventually, as I started to do this, I started to do other things, obviously. Joined cross country and track. I got a job, spent long hours working. I had AP classes where I really enjoyed learning. These were great opportunities for me. And I found out I really loved them. And so that's how I filled my time instead of playing video games, and I started to learn more. And that goes to my 4th tip. I know this is kind of a story of me, how, extreme I went from playing all video games to no video games. But each child's different. Each has their own capability to learn, to improve, to do things differently. And so we have to realize that not all children are going to do this, but they're going to progress in their own way. And we have to help them progress as much as they can in doing other things, not just playing video games. And there are going to be a few that, play video games professionally, and that's a great thing. But they're still going to need to learn how to do these other things, which we want to help them develop and do. And so now, looking back, I still love video games. And now my son has a video game. I bought him a Switch, and he's playing. And I love doing that. But I rarely do it because I have other things I really enjoy. And most people would have thought, hey, he's going to become a video game addict for the rest of his life. But as I found other things, I realized that I loved other things more. And so I spent my time there. And this is the same thing that will happen with your students and children, is that you'll find that they have other things they really enjoy. And as they branch out and have new opportunities and feel more comfortable doing other things, they'll embrace it and they'll actually want to do those things. And so, when you're handling video games, I hope you remember the 4 different tips that I give, which is 1, realizing that video games can be healthy in moderation. 2, that we need to find other opportunities for students to do instead of just playing video games. Things that they'll actually enjoy. 3 is being patient and understanding. It's a long process, right? And so helping and going through it and helping them develop is a great thing. 4, each child's different. So the progress that's going to be made is different. And not all of them are going to be like me, but all of them are going to go on their own journey and progress in their own way. So hopefully as you see your own children and you're trying to handle video games, that this gives you an idea of how to better handle them and how to be happier with your student and better relationship with your child. So I'll see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to our channel for more content. We'll see you next time.